Northern Ireland, a land of natural beauty, historical past, and trouble. But now is the time for them to rise up and become a footballing superpower. This is Rise of a Nation with Northern Ireland.
Hey guys, back here for the first of the end of season reviews. We're looking at the good things, the goal of the season, signing of the season, Stephen Davis, Galbraith Young Player of the Year, as well as Fans Player of the Year. Really pick up all the awards. We'll start with the goal of the season. This coming against Besiktas, so this was one of the goals that we did see. Maybe. And you see just running through and... well, that's disappointing. It wasn't a great goal. I mean, he did run with the ball, but it didn't really overlap with anyone. Sorry, this season, Jonathan Galbraith, obviously we all know about him. Review. Match of the season, our 7-2 victory over Portadown. Can we show this game? Let's have a look at the highlights. Comprehensive highlights. Yep. Okay, let's watch the highlights. Ah, classic. Okay, where's the ball? Okay, this is disappointing. Okay, well, I guess we'll just be doing one end of season review. Okay, so the end of season review is that, well, the Port's happy with their win. Cameron McGeehan, they are believed to be a poor financial investment. We got him on a free, and he played 9 games with an average rating of 7.22. So I'm not really sure what the board is on about there. He's on a fairly hefty wage, but we are well below our wage budget end of season team meeting. Well, the plan is to just go ahead and win it because, well, really? I thought that they all responded well. End of season. Injury wise, McGeehan was out for 38% of the season with, well, a broken leg, so that's unfortunate. Kieran Neal out for 34. Stephen Noble out for 2 months. And 35% pre-season. Well, I think we need to come back and give ourselves plenty of time because we do have European football fairly early with those playoffs. As you can see, impressive performances from the young guys because they are young, they are developing quickly. Obviously, the older players are going to start dropping off, which is why their concerning performances are noted. Have a look at the players. Best ever 11, Galbraith, Heatley still there, Werlow still there, Murray still there, Crawford hasn't played for us for a little while. McManus, Long, Speak, O'Neill's there. Yes, that's to have a look at the stats here. Top goal scorer Jonathan Galbraith, 54 goals. David Harris with the highest average rating of 7.64, and he had the most assists with 23 assists. Joel Taylor finished with the best pass completion of 88%, which is interesting considering he hasn't got that great passing vision, and technique is very low, so that's interesting. He manages to pull off 88% of his passes. Jonathan Galbraith with 13 Player of the Match awards. Mark McManus with 12 yellow cards, and he, along with Werlow, D. Moore, picked up 1 card each, which I think that's pretty good. Only 3 red cards for the season. It would be pretty goals in a season, beating his effort from last season. He also scored 27 in the league, so he's a fair way off Andy Little's effort in our first season in charge. Most goals in a game, Luke Smith equaling Galbraith's record. Obviously that was in the league as opposed to Jonathan Galbraith's effort in the Champions League. Most assists, David Harris 23, just off Paul Heatley's effort in the first season. Most clean sheets, Craig McCartney smashing the previous record by Neil Boss with 33. Highest average rating, David Harris just pipping the previous record, which was 7.58 by Colin Coates, who is still at Linfield in their reserves. Is it the reserves? Yeah. Let's move on to most player matches. Obviously, record there for Galbraith, beating his record from last season. Decent. Go McAllister. Let's see how it's going at Sheffield Wednesday. Developing nicely. I'll get ourselves a scout reporter there. Youngest player, Luke Smith. Youngest player to take the field this season. Oldest player, Stephen Davis. 35-year-old. Playing in the final of the Northern Irish Cup. Tommy Anderson, is he still playing? No, he's head of youth development. Not too bad, really. Decent determination, decent working with youngsters. Hopefully he'll get a gig at one of the clubs. The youngest goal scorer, obviously, is going to be Luke Smith. Oldest goal scorer, Stephen Davis in the Peterhead game. The Scottish League Challenge Cup in the semi-final. Fans player of the year, obviously, and that's the same as the fastest goal, Stephen Jarvis. 36 seconds. Off Paul Heatley's record of 24 seconds. Let's have a look. Let's see if there's any records that we are yet to break. Records. Most times winner. Obviously, that's going to take us a while to break and probably won't break. Fuse points. I hope we don't end up breaking that. That would be very disappointing. I think we've won. We've pretty much broken every record that we are able to. Attendance, that could be something we aim for, being Linfield's record of 2,906 average attendance, that is, and 8,000. That's going to take a while. We're going to have to rebuild a new stadium, so if we're to do that, in terms of the board, still can't increase the junior coaching budget, which is disappointing. Can't increase youth recruitment either. I've got plenty of time left on my contract, so I won't be looking at extending at the moment. And there's no point expanding the stadium. We're still only about 50% full in league games. I'm not going to worry about that for the time being. For the most part, they're not interested in increasing the number of coaches. Stephen Bell's happy to stay at the club once again. He's still there. I think if he weren't doing so well, he would have probably left the club. He's happy collecting his director's cut at the end of each season as we increase our finances year in, year out. If we have a look at finances, projection is to just maintain, I guess. Looking at sponsors, we've got one season left on our main kit sponsor. Hopefully we can get some more on that. Net transfer debt, still paying that off. Financial fair play, well, we're well on top of that. Wages are obviously increasing since we went professional. That's why they jumped so quickly. Obviously, salaries are going to continue to go up as more and more players go on to professional contracts. You can see here, directors just taking a chunk of our profits. And well, TV revenue is obviously increasing dramatically every season. And so is gate receipts. As our reputation rises, we obtain more and more money. We're at $8 million this season in players being sold, and the overall summary is that this season we made a profit of £7.5 million, well under last season's profit of $10 million, which would be down to players sold. We haven't sold many players this season, and that is the reason for that profit being much lower than the previous season. Let's go into the players now. If we just filter this in, we'll look at the keepers first. Obviously, Craig McCartan is the guy who has been playing pretty much all season. He is on loan from Liverpool, and I'm making the most of that. The Wonder Kid is developing nicely, and well, I'm hoping that he will want to remain at the club. Well, if we have a look, if we were to make an offer, they want a ridiculous amount of sum. Yeah, that's not going to happen. As you can see about the stats here, played 6 games in the Champions League, average rating of 7.07 Europa League. 11 games, he had an average of 6.78 in the league, 7.02. Overall rating of 55 games started, 1 off the bench, an average rating of 6.97. We move on to the next player, Nigel Rice, pretty much the other player to play. If we have a look at where is the overall appearances, you can see here. Why is that? Okay, it's generally for no, my mistake. We'll just have a look at the league, I guess. Ignoring the players who are out on loan. McCartney with 27 games, Nigel Rice with 10, and Noel Mackle played the 2 games. In the 10 games Nigel Rice played, average of 6.89. Conceding. Why don't I have the attributes for a goalkeeper? No, don't worry about that. Now we'll have a look at the defenders and have a look at the stats for the league. Now filter out players not at the club. Yep. Okay, in terms of appearances, DMO 25 games started, 5 off the bench. Average rating of 7.12. McManus, 23 games started, average rating of 7.56. Passing completion could be a little bit better considering they are defenders and you really want your players at the back really finding their targets, and unfortunately that is a little bit low at 64%. Tommy Speak, the fullback, you can understand his might not be as high considering some of those I wonder if passing percentage includes crosses, because well, he was crossing the ball in, it's not going to be hitting the head as much as he would have if he was playing it to their feet. Out of his 20 games started, 7.36 average rating. William Halliday, 19 games started, 8 off the bench, average rating of 7.32. Phil Long, 18 games, 9 appearances as a substitute, average rating of 7.55. Again, a low passing percentage for the fullback. Average of 2.12 tackles per game, which does seem a little bit low. It's weird. Kieran O'Neill, 11 games started, 9 off the bench, average rating of 7.22, a average passing percentage of 79%. I think that's going to be about it. Neil Webb only played the 9 games, probably get him a few more games next season as he pushes towards that spot where he will no longer improve. The young centre back probably needs more game time, which is why he's listed for loan DMs. Joel Taylor and Stephen Davis. These two are the guys that have really played in that DM role. Position: Joel Taylor, 27 games. Stephen Davis, 19 games. 7.313 and 7.42 are the average ratings for those two midfielders. Well, if we have a look at the actual midfielders themselves, we've got Stephen Jarvis, O'Neill, McKee, Harris, Werlow, Phil Anderson, McGeehan. Those Alex Martin obviously came through in January. He only played the 2 games in the league. Obviously, we had a long extended period in Europe, which is why he is not playing as many in the league, and he did in fact get that injury, and he's only just returning to fitness. 6 games overall in the league. Let's have a look at them. Not many games in the league. Obviously, you've got to take into consideration European aspirations, but the average rating of those guys were very good. 7.75 for Harris, 7.5 for McKee, who was obviously out for a bit with an injury. Jarvis, 7.39, 7.37 for Stephen O'Neill. Alex Martin with an average rating of 7.3. Cameron McGeehan with an average rating of 7.22. Joe Werlow with an average rating of 7.08. And Phil Anderson, the young left winger, with an average rating of 6.84. Finally, the strikers. Jonathan Galbraith, Luke Smith, the 2 guys who played pretty much every game as the striker. 7.65 for Jonathan Galbraith with 27 goals, and Luke Smith with 7.26 average rating with 14 goals from 18 games started. The development of the club looks about a little bit like this. We're still developing our facilities. They'll be done in October. Other than that, there isn't much to talk about in terms of the facilities. Obviously, as I've previously stated, we can't increase the youth recruitment and we can't increase the junior coaching budget at the time because the board feels that it is satisfactory for the club of our level. So we'll look at the development of Northern Ireland in Europe. If we have a look at Europe as a whole, see that at league. When I find it, it probably isn't this high. Okay, where are we? Are we still this far down? We are. Jeez. We're up to 95th in the world, going up by 8. I suspect that will actually increase. Let's have a look at the top divisions in Europe. Okay. Is this? Oh, this is. I think it's reset. Damn, it's gone to world. European football wise, we're only just in the top 100. I suspect that's from last season, so when the season resets, we'll probably be a little bit higher. I'll have a look at that when the reset happens, and if there is a major change, I will certainly inform you of that. If we have a look at the rankings, world rankings for just Europe, we are 90th in the world, and we've dramatically decreased over the last year and a bit, where we were 41st at one stage. Galbraith is now the best player for Northern Ireland. Gavin McAllister's there. Nation coefficients. Just a second, I'll drink. Northern Ireland is currently 40th. Have a look there, 19.54. No, the club coefficients wise, we are 39th. And we have a coefficient for the start of next season of 11.125, which takes us all the way up to Slovenia. I wish I could tickle it. Let's have a look. Yes, I think it's Slovenia. So we'll go up to 31st, a jump of 8. And over the next few seasons, we should see a massive jump as well, massive spike. Over the next 4 seasons, we should go up by about 20. And if we have a look, we're opening about 3 to 5, and I expect that to keep increasing a little bit as we get further into the Champions League. So if we go by 5, next 4 seasons we'll go up by 20, which take us up to 31, which will get us up into about the 15th. So this is where I'm looking towards in the next 4 years. Now if we have a look at the qualifications for 14th, we should get ourselves in here, around this area here. And the aim is to have 2 clubs in the Champions League. And then another 3, which will mean that we'll have 5 clubs in in Europe. And have a look at the coefficients. If we find us, we're currently 143rd, but obviously we've had a massive jump in the last few years, and well, we should see us. Well, we're currently now 31.22, which really gets us right up into this area here, in the 60 to 70 mark, which is a jump of almost 80, which is pretty ridiculous when you think about it. We obviously went from around 220 or something at the start of the season. Our estimated value is currently ranked at 39 million, which is pretty good considering. And the club lists, reputation wise, we are not on this list, and that is obviously an aim of us to get into this list. I think that's about it in terms of this. Yeah, top players in Europe. It'd be good to see Galbraith here, but I don't think he's going to be there ever. What else? We've got a World Cup coming up this summer. I know European Championship is this summer. Let's have a look at. Oh yes, we want to have a look at the scouting and have a look at the players on the short list. If we have a look, Ian Mackay's back on the list. Wonder if we can get him. Wonder how much that would cost if we were to try and pinch him. Obviously, we've already had Brexit, and it was a hard Brexit, so I'm expecting something like 80 million. 54 million. See, it's not too bad, but well out of price range. Player shortlist. This is the list of players who I am scouting and looking to buy. Just re-scout those. The 16-year-olds, you might be asking, there were regions that came through. Well, at the moment it's just one here, Johnny Daly, who is very good. I'm also looking at Simon Mason. Oh, no, can't get him because of the fact that Brexit happened, and he's at Leicester. Yeah, and they wanted 106 million, I think. Oh, 67 million. Okay. Alfie Irwin could be a player that I look at trying to get in on loan from Liverpool. Yeah, so I'll have a look next season at the players, and hopefully we can get a few players in on loan to improve the squad and try and push ourselves further into the Champions League. Maybe a knockout round could possibly be a name. Obviously, it depends on the group we get if we do make it to the Champions League group stage. Obviously, there's still more development from this season, so hopefully we can get a decent draw in the knockout playoff for the Champions League and get ourselves into the group stage. In terms of training, when we get back, it'll be fitness, less match training. To try and get ourselves physically fit for the start of the season. Obviously, facilities are fantastic. No transfers really. Rejected a bid. That was in January though, wasn't it? And I don't expect too many transfers in the summer in terms of permanent transfers. We definitely won't be anyone leaving the club unless they are reserve quality. Yeah, all the players that are in the first team have got contracts for at least the next 2 seasons, so there's no concern about players requesting to leave and us forcing to transfer them. And that's pretty much it for this season. Obviously, a fantastic result. Winning the league obviously is just a given. If you look at the cups here, winning all the domestic cups, winning the league, and knocked out by FC Basel in the playoffs, knocked out by Olympique Lyon in the quarterfinals of Europa League. The board was satisfied with our Champions League effort. Next season, my aim is to get into the group stage. Long-term aim is the next few years to get ourselves comfortably into the Champions League and start pushing towards playoffs, and then from there just slowly developing the club and getting ourselves deeper and deeper into the Champions League. So that's going to be about it. I think I've pretty much covered it in terms of staff. No real changes. Fairly content with our staff. If we look at assistants, not really anything to look at. We can't really improve on what we've got, so there's no point trying to waste money on releases. Meaning compensation. So that'll be about it. Starting to lose my voice. And I just have to look at the squad depth. You can see there. Possibly a left back. But obviously we are restricted as to who we are able to obtain. And at this stage, not really anything we can do about that. So if you enjoyed this episode, do leave it a like. If you're new, subscribe for more Football Manager content on this channel. Until next time, I've been James. You've been great. Thank you for watching. Goodbye for now.